Hi there, welcome to Terraland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Aquarius energy, and we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives, but we're going to, like usual, do two rows. The top row I refer to as high vibe Aquarius energy, the bottom row a more shadowy Aquarius energy. The bottom row could represent that we could feel there's some people in our life who might have some healing or growing or maturing to do. There can be people in our life that view us that way. You know, it's all relative. And we could view some people as having some healing and growing, maturing to do. They could have people in their life that they view that way. So, oops. So, we're all, put yourself in the story where you're at and where you might be. And we can all kind of be struggling within ourselves. We might want to move forward in life differently, which is what the top row can represent. But we all like to stay in our comfort zone. It's hard to maybe speak our truth, maybe have hope and faith and belief in ourselves. And so some people could be battling within themselves. We have free will, we have to make decisions. And some people are still just battling within themselves. I'd like to do life differently, but then, maybe I'd have to leave a job or a friendship or a relationship, or I'd have to look at life from a higher perspective. I'd have to kind of quit indulging my more fearful nature or immature nature, whatever it is. And that all is stuff to be worked through. And while some people could be battling within themselves, other people are moving forward in life differently. Some other people have decided they don't have a problem. They're going to keep living life the way they live it and teach their own. The whole thing is we're trying to find people who are kind of more on the same page as we are at any given moment in time. So, let's try to get some cards out here. So in the top row, we have the Seven of Swords reverse, which is Aquarius energy. We could have had a way of viewing life. We could have been deceiving ourselves. Other people could have been deceiving us. And eventually we work through the Seven of Swords, and from the Seven down to the Three of Swords, we kind of see through the illusion and we heal. Because the difference between the 7 and the 3 is the Four of Swords, which is Libra energy that, something has been making me feel tipped out of balance. I could feel like something isn't just and fair, and did the work to reflect on it, to work through it, and got to a place of balance about it. And then the Death card can talk about, I realize what I need to detach from emotionally, if it's things within myself, and then that in turn will affect kind of some of the people that I might hang out with. But I'm ready to move forward in life differently with the King of Wands here. I'm ready to take more inspired action in my life, and the reason for the top row's reading is the Ten of Pentacles and the King of Cups. In my foundation and my having learned these lessons in life, because the Ten of Pentacles is Virgo energy, about learning lessons in life, there are people in my life that I could love, but if they don't look at life from a higher perspective, if they keep living more from their mind than their heart, if they keep aligning with non-life-giving energy, not wanting to grow, heal, mature themselves, be more just and fair, might be intimidating and controlling, might be more superficial and shallow. I can love people like that, but if they have no intention of taking inspired action to operate from a foundation of love, I have to see the truth that they might be more inspired by themselves, the world, pain, heartbreak, being in relationships with people who don't believe in their dreams, who might be heartbroken, who might have experienced a loss in their life, or are also more caught up in things of the world and could be kind of emotionally shallow and superficial themselves. And if that's their truth and that's how they want to live their life, then I need to emotionally detach from them. That's high vibe Scorpio, death card, and let them live their life the way they want to live it. But what motivates and inspires them in their fire sign energy is different than what motivates and inspires me. And I'm going to be inspired to invest in love. And if other people aren't motivated and inspired to invest in love, then I wish them peace and I'm going to move on and they can go get in a relationship with someone else, right? The reason for the bottom rose reading is the Six of Wands, which is Leo energy. Some people can be dealing with Leo, but the high vibe Leos are moving forward in high vibe energy. But there's always people that harness a more shadowy Leo energy that are more about themselves, more about ego, more about image, trying to manipulate people to get them to do what they want, more about themselves. And we've already been in relationships with people who are like that. And some high vibe people are like, I don't want to keep moving forward with people who aren't inspired by truth and love. And I'm moving on. So, about the bottom row, the way I view it when the cards aren't showing themselves is there are some people who are more shadowy. They're more about themselves. They're more about ego and image or being indulged or trying to manipulate people to get them to do what they want. And they could be hiding that they've already had some high vibe people in their life who left their life. But they don't want people to know that those people were high vibrational. And they're trying to control people. So shadowy people can try to present themselves as more high vibrational than they are, so that people who are looking to get a new job, get a new friend, get in a new relationship, that they'll come get in a relationship with them. But they turn their back. High vibe Virgo, again, is about truth and love, growing, healing, maturing yourself, being more balanced within yourself. And they try to present themselves as high vibrational, like, I'm attractive, I'm charming, I look victorious and successful in the world, something, and try to get other people who are more high vibrational to get in a relationship with them, but they don't want to put in work and effort from love. It's to create the illusion of love. You're either, in high vibe Leo, you're either being authentic and honest and you are who you say you are, or you're trying to manipulate people to make them view you a certain way. And the shadowy people are trying to hide from the people they're in relationship with that they actually harness this energy in a more shadowy way. The Queen of Pentacles, the Lover's card, the Knight of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. In their Taurus energy, which can have to do with their philosophy of life, they have a way of viewing life, and they will all repeat an old pattern until we've kind of learned the lesson we were meant to learn from it. And some of these people are not willing to put an end to being more about themselves, or their fear, or their insecurity, or their pride, or their ego, or making their life more about the world. They're more emotionally invested in ego and image and themselves, and they don't want people to know that. They turn their back to love because that inspires them to get out of their ego nature, to quit being more about themselves and caught up in the illusion of the world, to heal from past pain and heartbreak, to detach from past pain and heartbreak, and be inspired to work together with people in love. And they're like, nope, I don't want to do that. I want to repeat this old pattern. And part of it can just be that they have past pain and heartbreak and stuff that they haven't worked through. And until they work through it, they are going to keep repeating a certain way of being in the world. And they could have already turned their back on some other loving people who tried to inspire them to work through those issues, to move on from those issues, and to be more inspired by love. But, all we can do is offer truth and love and be a supportive, encouraging person in people's life. But until they incorporate that into their own philosophy of life and start taking action from within themselves to be more inspired to love themselves and kind of be like a loving mother, father, coach voice to their more immature nature and their maybe past pain and heartbreak, to be inspired to get out of their ego, they're going to keep repeating these old patterns. Is there some people that got in relationships with people, and can some of the shadowy people be kind of loving and encouraging and supportive? Yeah, but it could be for an ulterior purpose. I am trying to present myself as more high vibrational so that you will move forward in a relationship with me. But then I want you to align with your more worldly egoic nature and look to me to be the person, instead of you loving and believing in yourself, like, well, no, I don't want that. Because high vibe energy is about being more independent. I want you to curb some of those bad behaviors that you might have, or your own fear, your own insecurity, your own past pain and heartbreak. But I still want it to be more about me. Like, you look to me to be the answer to your problems. Don't look and have hope and faith and belief in yourself. Don't feel more stable and grounded within yourself. Don't really love yourself. Do it all because of me. Well, everybody can have their idea of how they want things to go, and shadowy energy can be trying again to control and manipulate people for things to go the way they want, right? High vibe people offer love and encouragement because they want people to love and believe in themselves. I want you to become independent of things that manipulate you within yourself, outside of yourself. If there's friends or family members or the world that manipulates you, I want you to overcome all of that. So together, we can move forward both being more independent. I don't want it to be more about me. I don't want it to be more about you. Love is supposed to be where you love and encourage each other to grow to your full potential, to believe in yourself, love yourself, shine your authentic light. Your shining your authentic light and being authentically yourself isn't like a threat to me and my ego. I also want to love and believe in myself and live my authentic truth and shine my authentic light. And I don't want it to be a threat to you. And that's kind of the subtle difference that, can we go through life and we've just known people who don't have hope and faith and belief in life, who are more hurtful, who are more intimidating and controlling, are more bossy? Yeah, because we had to learn those lessons. But the more lessons we learn in life, the more subtle kind of the life lessons are. I kind of view high vibe fire sign energy and water sign energy of learning to listen to your intuition. There's a lot of lessons to learn in life. It's easy to know the people in our life who are more stubborn, immature, hurt, intimidating, controlling, self-centered, egotistical, right? I mean, if they're blatantly that way, it's kind of easy to see the truth. And we can have love for those people. They could be our family members. They could be our adult children. They could be people we've been in a relationship, people we grew up with. And yeah, we kind of moved on from those people. Their truth is not my truth. What motivates and inspires them and how they want to live their life, that's not my truth. And we kind of move on from them. But as we go through life, it's like this fine honing, to we come in contact with all these different people to help us get more and more clear about what our truth is and what our truth isn't. And we all could have been in more shadowy energy where we hadn't learn to love ourselves. So we were kind of immature and we kind of look to the world and other people to make us feel better. And I want to go indulge in these things to feel better. And I want people to like me and I want people to love me because we hadn't really learned to love ourselves. Well, then we kind of learned some of those lessons. And, there's certain people that we definitely can know. Am I going to get in a more involved relationship with you? No. But then we can, meet people who really seem to kind of be more on the same page as us. That, oh, this person doesn't seem to be prideful and egotistical and more about the world and ego and image. I mean, the Ten of Pentacles is we want a balance. We all want some of these things in the world. We'd all like stability and security and enjoy some of the finer things in life. But we also want loving, encouraging, authentic, balanced, just, fair relationships. And we can meet people who present themselves as being that type of person. We could think, oh my gosh, I have finally found the right job, the right friendship group, the right relationship. They seem very stable and grounded and like a loving family person. But the masculine energies, it can represent how we present ourselves in the world, because when we go present ourselves in the world, it's kind of considered masculine energy. And people really don't know how we think and how we feel. And so anybody can kind of wear a false mask, is what the masculine cards can represent, where people either really are who they say they are, or they're kind of wearing a false mask from ego, trying to present themselves as a certain type of person in the world. And we can get in relationships with people like that, and we think, oh my gosh, they view life just like we do. But then we find out that their philosophy of life is different. That they turn their back on love and being inspired by love, because in order to do love, you have to get out of your ego where it's more about me, or being in a relationship more for the ego or the image or the status or something, or indulging yourself, right? And you really have to do love. And you have to do this inner work within yourself to maintain balance within yourself, so you don't take action where it's more about you or more about the ego and the image and kind of drive your life off into the ditch, right? And the more we get in relationships with people who kind of seem to be more on the same page as us, it can be harder to end a relationship with them and move on from them, because there are all these things about it that we could have in common. They can kind of be emotionally supportive to you, you're kind of emotionally supportive to them. The King and Queen of Pentacles is the only married through the deck. You could have wanted to be married. This is someone you did want to marry. Could have been someone you did marry. Can there be love there? Yes, but is the other person still kind of more immature? In tarot, we have the pages, the knights, the kings, the queens, the emperor, the empress. Have we learned some more lessons than some other people, and they still think it's okay to kind of repeat some poor past patterns that we're not repeating because we've already been there, done that, and we're not doing that anymore? But they maybe haven't had that life experience, or think that if they get people in a relationship or a marriage or a commitment, then they have this idea that, well, people should indulge me in my more immature behavior. And that's just a way of viewing life and relationships. Or if you want them to be more just and fair and put an end to being more about themselves, well, then they could have a problem with that, because that does require them to get out of being more motivated and inspired by themselves and the world to learn some lessons in life about love. And from the 1 wand to the 6 of wands is the 5 of wands. And the Five of Wands, again, Leo energy about our ego. Am I more inspired to do love? Or am I still kind of more about myself and the world and I think I'll be happy? And some of those people, and some people right now in jobs, friendships, or relationships, have people in their life who have been loving and encouraging, but those people aren't going to put up with more immature behavior. They've quit being a more immature energy. They're moving forward in a more Libra energy of the Three of Swords is maintaining balance within yourself. And they are harnessing high vibe Libra, not being more about themselves. They're putting in work and effort to work together with people cooperatively. We have this common goal. Let's all put in work for this common goal. And there's some people that are like, well, I wanted to go with, but I didn't want to have to put an end to, I don't know, being bossy, being controlling, being more about myself. I don't really want to see the truth, that maybe I should put in more work and effort. Can't I look like someone who puts in work and effort, but not really? Don't you like me? Aren't you attracted to me? Don't you love me? Don't I have the resources? Like, I might have the education for this job, but I really don't put in work and effort. And just like in a workplace where people, high vibe people in a workplace and high vibe people in a relationship, I'm inspired to work together with people who are inspired to work cooperatively with me in a stable, grounded, self-aware, emotionally mature, get out of your more egoic nature. It's not just about you, where we work together, inspired to work together to give birth to something new, to move forward victoriously, because high vibe energy is about being more independent and giving birth to something new. And just like people in a workplace and people in a relationship can see who seems to want to come with, but they really don't want to do that work, and they're hoping to manipulate you or control you, or don't think you'll love and believe in yourself enough to stand up for what you believe in, and that they can just keep coming with in a more shadowy energy. And just like people in workplaces and relationships, eventually they say, no. I could have been caught up in the illusion. I could have been caught up in that traits, education, looks, money, status, image that people had. But from the Seven of Swords down to the Three of Swords, I meditated on the truth. And the truth is, we all have to be motivated and inspired to align with our more hopeful, believing, loving nature, where we put in work and effort to work cooperatively with people in a just and fair way, and inspired to work together, because that's the truth of who we are. And they see the truth that some people, that's not their truth. When someone is holding the one pentacle, it can be about what their truth is. And we're either more aligned with being about ourselves, being indulged, more about the money, the materialism, the status and image, and we think that should be good enough. Or like, well, I work here, you should keep letting me work here. It's like, just working here, doing like the minimum, is not enough. You know? Are you inspired to work here? Do you seem like you're inspired to work here? Or are you kind of more immature and want to be indulged here? And I'm not going to keep letting people who are in non-life-giving energy keep moving forward with me. If you're not inspired to not be in that energy, then I wish you peace, and you can go find someone else who might want to indulge you in your ways of being, but I'm not. And as some of you are moving forward in this more high vibrational energy, You could have gotten out of workplaces, friendships, relationships with people because you saw that they were hiding, that they are more stubborn, they are more immature, they are more bossy, controlling, they are more manipulative, prideful, egotistical. They're not motivated to take more inspired action within themselves. They want to repeat an old pattern over and over and over. It's like, I've already been in friendships, relationships, and jobs with people who act like this. Grow up. And if you haven't, I'm going to emotionally detach from you, and I'm going to be inspired to get out of my ego about the whole thing and not take it personally. I don't control other people. I can only do my part, treat people with truth and love, try to be encouraging and supportive, and then they have their free will to act however they want to act. And if they keep choosing to act in these certain ways, well, I'm not going to keep taking action towards them. I wish you peace, and I'm moving on. And that's when people go get different jobs, different friendships, different relationships. I can only have my dream come into reality with people who are motivated and inspired to work cooperatively with me in a just and fair, authentic, truthful, loving way. And some people haven't learned those lessons yet. You know, again, the Knight of Wands is more immature, even though they could be older. But they just got some lessons to learn in life. They want to kind of be either repeat an old pattern in a way of viewing life where it's not looking at life from a higher perspective, you know, putting an end to their more worldly, egoic view of life, to be inspired by love. You know, high vibe Aquarius is looking at life from a higher perspective, stepping outside of societal norms to bring needed change to the world. And some people just aren't willing to be more authentically themselves in high vibe Leo energy. And other people are willing to be more authentically themselves, quit letting things in their life and things in their past and the world kind of more manipulate them and tell them, you should make your life more about these things. Then we'd view you like a shining star. It's like, you know what? I'm going to let you people who want to look like shining stars in the world and live your life the way you live it, do it. And I'm going to listen to my intuition. And I'm going to be more bold and brave and confident to believe in myself and what I believe is possible. And I'm not going to repeat these old patterns, because if I keep repeating an old pattern, nothing new comes into existence. The same old thing keeps being recreated over and over and over. And I want to move forward in life differently, and some people aren't ready to move forward in that energy. So what's coming up for some people who harness some high vibe Aquarius energy that they might not see coming? The Sun. Why? Because of the Queen of Wands. 2 cards of Leo energy. So the high vibe people in high vibe Leo are emotionally, because the Queens talk about how we think and feel. So whether people are male or female, people are inspired emotionally to deal with the truth, because the truth sets us free, and to be in more hopeful, believing energy. I don't want to repeat an old pattern. That phase of life and that way of living life is over. I already kind of lived my life that way, and my dream didn't come into reality. So I kind of saw through the illusion, because you're either caught up in the illusion of yourself and your ego and your fear, or the world, and you're making your life still about those things, or you've been illuminated to the truth. I'm not going to make my life more about those things. It's about having a balance. I have to work together with other people to a degree. I want stability and security in my life. But I believe instead of trying to manipulate or control people, it's about loving and encouraging people and seeing who are the people who are motivated and inspired to work from having hope and faith and belief and love, and who are the people who are not. And I want to work with the people who I think I've seen the truth of, that they are more motivated and inspired to work, that they've learned lessons in life, they've gotten out of their more immature nature, their more egoic nature, being manipulated by their own fear and ego, by other people in their life, by the world, to be more independent, because that's what the high vibe energy is about, and have hope and faith and belief in themselves and in love and in others and what could be. Those are the people I want to work with. And some of the people in the world who are hiding, they're more about just trying to go along with people who are like that, but that's really not the truth of who they are. The high vibe people are like, no, I don't think you're a good fit. This isn't really seeming to work out. It seems like we're kind of on different pages. And so then those people will go find a new job, a new friend, a new relationship, until they get inspired to get out of their more egoic nature, which can just be, I want all those things, but I don't want to be that type of person. I want what other people have, and I want people who are in that energy to let me come with them, but that's not, I'm not harnessing high vibe Leo energy. I'm harnessing a more shadowy Leo energy. I'm defensive, I'm prideful, I'm immature, I'm defensive. I try to manipulate people to get what I want, and the high vibe people are like, no, this stops here. We're having a new beginning, and you are not coming with. And at that time, those people might try to hide the truth that they were in relationships with some emotionally mature, loving people who tried to inspire them to get out of their more immature, egoic nature, but they weren't willing to do it. They kept trying to manipulate, intimidate, or control, and other people saw the truth of it and basically kind of called judgment on them. So then they'll go try to find someone else who will indulge them in their poor behavior. And as the high vibe people are moving forward in this energy, your own more shadowy energy and other more shadowy people in the world are going to try to stop you, because they want you to be in your more shadowy energy, because then you'd be in friendships and relationships with them. And they don't want you to be illuminated to the truth and love and believe in yourself and stand up for yourself and be more bold and brave and confident, because that's not who they are. And you would be in friendships and relationships and workplaces with other people in the world. Because in our free will, there's all these different people in the world that either have traits and characteristics that are more aligned with our shadowy energy or our high vibe energy. And we have the free will to choose who we're going to align with and kind of invest our time, energy, and effort into. And there's people in our life who want us to be in a relationship with them, but they're more aligned with our worldly, egoic, immature, worldly nature. And there's other people in the world, maybe people we don't know yet, but probably some of the people in our life are more motivated and inspired, willing to get out of their ego, willing to learn lessons in life, willing to look at life from different perspectives, be loving and encouraging, even if you want to live your life different than them. You know, we can all know people. Can I be loving and encouraging to them? Yeah. Are we kind of on the same page? As be like, if you looked at life as being school, grade 1 through 12, are we going to belittle and berate the first through sixth graders? No, because they're first through sixth graders. They are where they're at. We were there at one time. Did we want people to belittle and berate us? No, we offer them love and encouragement. Am I going to get in a relationship with you and I'm like a 10th, 11th, or 12th grader? No. Because we view life completely different and our emotional maturity level is completely different. But sometimes the more immature people want to move forward with the more stable, grounded, mature people, because it's good for their ego or an image or, you know, something, but that's not really the truth of who they are. And it's like, no, you need to do this work within yourself to grow up and mature yourself and go do that work, just like we had to do that work to pass those grades of school, to learn things in life. And maybe when you learn some of those lessons in life and we all pop out at some point in time in life, maybe we will all be on the same page. But for now, we're not. So I think high vibe people look very attractive, is what the sun and high vibe Leo energy is. People see you as a very stable, grounded, inspiring, authentic, loving person. They see that you're not taking action in more prideful, egotistical, immature, manipulative, codependent, whatever ways of being. And other people who are in that energy view you as someone they want to have working for them, be their friend, keep being their friend, be in relationships. And if you're in relationships or friendships with them, they want to keep being in a relationship with you. And there's other people who are exactly the opposite. It's like, oh shit, this person did all this work to overcome their fear, their insecurity, their pride, their ego. They're like a different person than they were when I got in a relationship with them. I don't want to be in a relationship with them anymore. They can go be in a relationship with someone else. I'm going to go try to find someone who is still on the same page as me. And that's fine. You know, it's kind of like when we were 18 years old, we hung out with 18-year-olds and we could have a blast, right? If one person is kind of ready to move forward a little bit differently in life, kind of detach from some old ways of being, to put more work and effort to move forward in life to the next phase of life, more like a 21-year-old. Some of the people in their life that aren't ready to do that, it's like, oh, you've changed and blah, blah, blah. And they're going to go hang out with people that are more like them, right? And everybody could, to a degree, wish everybody loved, but shadowy people could be a little bit in their ego that, why are you more bold and brave and confident? Why are you doing life differently than we're doing life, you know? And high vibe people wish people peace and love. It's like, I'm okay with you living your life the way you want to live it, but I want to move forward in life differently. But sometimes the people who don't like that we're kind of facing our fears to move forward in life differently might kind of turn their back on us some, you know, and we have to realize I could chase after those people because I view them as a loving, nurturing person in my life, and they have been a loving, nurturing person. But now they kind of seem to be a little bit more manipulative, a little more controlling, want it to be more their way. And it's like, you know what? Maybe I'll give you some time. I'm going to go live my life. And maybe whatever it is you need to work through, maybe you'll work through it. And maybe we'll be on the same page again at some future point in time. So high vibe people offer love to the situation so they can move forward in a place of peace. And the people who are kind of more in their ego about it might keep staying in their ego about it for quite a while until they learn some lessons they need to learn in life. What's coming up for some people who are harnessing a little more worldly, shadowy Aquarius energy that they might not see coming up? Oh my goodness. We have the Queen of Cups, the Ten of Cups, the Eight of Cups, the Six of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, the Judgment card, the Knight of Wands, the Six of Cups, and the Two of Pentacles. So, let's see. Aquarius and the Queen of Cups I view as Scorpio energy. You know, we all have a way of viewing life, and we're kind of comfortable in our comfort zone, and we all kind of like to live life the way we live life, and we all have our philosophy of life that we think will make us happy, and they're pretty sure the way that they have decided the way they want to live their life will make them happy. But we can always have some people in our life who kind of want to. The Six of Pentacles can be letting go of an old way of viewing life and living life to move forward in life differently. And in order to do that, we have to call judgment and willing to kind of look at what are some of the things I might need to let go of to move forward in life differently. And Some people would have to call judgment on wanting to be more immature and repeat some patterns of the past where they kind of juggle the truth because they're maybe not ready to. They might have some things from their past that still, or people from their past that still, that they haven't come to peace about. And so they're still juggling some of those things. And until they work through that, they're not going to be ready to move forward in life differently. But when we're not ready to move forward in life differently, there can be other people in our life who would like us to move forward in life differently. And they've been loving and encouraging and trying to do equal give and take and trying to be inspiring to help people reconcile themselves with some issues of the past so that they can pick up their investment in that and move forward in life differently. But if the other people keep choosing to, no, I don't want to do that. I want to keep doing this. And we should keep doing this. But the other people are kind of inspired to move forward in life differently. We have a problem in a relationship. You know, one person has decided, I want to keep doing this. The other person has decided, I want to move forward in life differently. And, you know, kind of what motivates and inspires us and how we want to move forward is differently. And then we have some people in our life who are going to move forward in life differently. And we've all been the person who didn't want to move forward in life differently at different stages of our life. When we were younger, our parents wanted us to move forward in life differently. And we're like, nope, I'm going to do this. My truth isn't your truth. What drives and motivates you isn't my truth, you know? And then we can get in relationships and friendships with people, and the same thing happens. So at any given moment in time, there's going to be people who want to quit repeating a certain pattern, and other people want to keep repeating that pattern. And other people are going to move on, and they might be surprised by that because some people could be more codependent and they think other people are more codependent, and some of those people could have been more codependent at different times. But some people want to keep saying codependent, where I don't want to have to quit being more about me and to learn to love me. I want to be in relationships with people who love me, and that is a more codependent relationship. You're supposed to love me. That will make all my problems go away. It's just like people who want to invest in things of the world. That's the answer. I'm going to go invest in those things of the world. That'll make me feel better. I'll go make my life about that or indulge in those things. That'll make it all better. Drugs, booze, sex, gambling, money, status, power. That's the answer. But they never really see the truth that maybe it could be past pain and heartbreak or egotism that or self-centeredness or immaturity that is kind of the driving factor in their decisions or codependency, and they never kind of quit being more about themselves, because in order to do love you have to quit being more about yourself and you have to love other people. And some people don't really want to love people and do a deep, meaningful relationship. They just want to indulge themselves in the relationship. Because if you emotionally invest yourself in people, that's different than just kind of indulging yourself in a relationship. You get hurt. And some people are like, no, I already did that before. It didn't work out. Now I don't trust anybody. I don't believe in anybody. I don't believe in love. Now it's just more about me indulging myself. And they can get people to get in relationships with them and indulge them for a while. But eventually the other people are like, wait a minute. I thought we were going to have a new beginning and it was going to be based on truth and love and justice and fairness. We're kind of through this phase of getting to know each other, and they're like, what they didn't know about the people they were in relationship is that those people just want to keep repeating this old pattern. They don't really want to be more authentic. They don't want to move the relationship to the next phase. They just want to keep doing this, but they were hiding it. That it was more about themselves, thinking you wouldn't love and believe in yourself enough that you just keep repeating this old pattern with them over and over and over. And it's like, no, I have a dream I want to bring into reality. And I think I have been loving and encouraging and supportive. And that, if that isn't your truth, then I'll let you go do this with someone else. And I will go find people who I think are more authentic and are more less self-indulgent or more about being in the relationship for the ego or the image or whatever, who really want to be in more long-term committed relationships and willing to quit being more about themselves. And so if the shadowy people keep repeating this pattern, other people are going to keep moving on. And the people who might end up staying in a relationship with them that they don't see coming, they're aligned with their more shadowy energy. The big picture, that's the devil, which is very controlling. And these things that control them, I think, are going to get bigger and bigger. If it's their fear, if it's their insecurity, if it's their self-indulgent nature, if it's their lust, their greed, all these things that they think are the answer that they keep investing in is going to get bigger and bigger. And there's always bigger fish in the sea looking to see who, looking for people like them. You had loving and encouraging people you could have moved forward with, and you didn't move forward with them. Interesting. So you didn't move forward with them because you're kind of prideful and egotistical or something, or defensive, kind of immature? More about money or materialism or status or ego or image? Perfect. There's always other people who are like, yeah, I want to be in a relationship with you. I am someone who looks for people like you in the world. I know I will create an illusion that I'm attracted to you, that I want to be in a relationship with you, that I'm willing to indulge you, that I want to marry you. And then it's to get them in a relationship, and it could be someone else. An emperor would have more status and image than any of these other cards on the table, except the sun, probably. It's like, I've learned more lessons than you've learned. I know better at how to play this game than you know how to play this game. And I will manipulate you for my own purposes. So long as this is good for my ego and my image, I'm willing to indulge you. But I have my own patterns and ways of being in a relationship. I also, as long as it's good for my ego and image, I'll stay in it. As long as you're kind of willing to indulge me and stay in a relationship with me again. Because some people, they just want to be in a relationship for some reason, like maybe to manipulate someone else, maybe to look like they're a certain type of person, try to make it look like they're not like the person they were before. Look, I must be a more stable, grounded, emotionally mature person. Where before, some people in my life could have thought I was a more manipulative or whatever type of person, right? And the whole thing is try to create this illusion that benefits my status and image in the world, they think. And they could have had people in their life that wanted them to be more authentic and less superficial. Both the Six of Cups and the Death card of Scorpio energy, which in shadow can be people who are more emotionally shallow and superficial, or intimidating and controlling and immature. And it's like, hey, this works for me. But the whole thing is, if people aren't in a relationship based on love, you're trying to build a foundation on shifting sand. You're trying to build it on something else, which might be ego, image, money, materialism. And if someone else comes along who's more willing to indulge them, or they, because with anyone in a relationship, we've kind of got to a degree, maybe temper our ego, maybe be willing to be more balanced, to learn some lessons in life, put in some work and effort. And they could end up in a relationship with someone who is just more about themselves. So long as it works for me, I'll stay in it. But if anyone comes along, they've got more status, more image, more fear, more insecurity, more willing to indulge me. Sorry, I was just juggling you anyway because it wasn't based on truth. And other people they try to get in a relationship will see that they're more immature, repeating patterns, poor past patterns of the past, juggling, trying to go back and forth about the truth, trying to present themselves as more high vibe than they are, and those people will move on. And they probably really don't want to be in a relationship with someone who's more like themselves, because the devil always wants to try to trap loving, hopeful, believing people in a relationship. View me as loving. Having someone in your camp who is just like you, ooh, let's go indulge in this. Okay. Let's go make our life about this. Oh, okay. There's kind of no thrill and conquer in that, right? The minions, these are the people who do just what I do. What I really want to do is try to get someone who's not like that to indulge me in my ego and think I'm more high vibrational than I am, and indulge me in my ego. But for some of those people, they're going to have to go find someone else. They already had loving people in their life who were at one point in time willing to indulge them in their ego, but those people made the free will choice to repeat some poor past patterns instead of doing love. The high vibrational people in their life saw the truth, and those high vibe people ended a relationship with them to go get in different relationships and move on with their life. And what some of these people don't see coming is that they'll be judged as having been immature, that they had the opportunity to move forward in more stable, authentic, loving relationships. And because they were kind of immature, they repeated some poor past patterns, and the high vibe people move forward in their life. And they thought they were going to come out and have the abundance, all these things of the world that they wanted. But because from the 8 to the 2 of Pentacles, they weren't willing to put in work and effort. If you're not putting in work and effort to kind of roll the ball of life forward up a slight incline that does take work and effort, they wanted reward without effort, and they thought they could kind of cheat the system. And they're going to end up with much less than what they thought they were going to have. You can have all the things of the world, but is it based on truth and love? You can have power, you can have influence, you can have status, but it's not abundant in love. It can feel very lacking. But if their idea of this is living the dream life is to act in these ways and be indulged or manipulate people, that is like the thrill of the game, they're going to keep doing that. But more high vibrational people will leave their life, and they'll probably end up in relationships with more immature people like themselves who are willing to indulge them. And is that the same as being in a relationship with people who love you and respect you, versus having people who are indulging you out of their own fear, insecurity, lust, greed, pride, or ego? They might look like a boss in the world, but the other people have like true abundance in their life because it is based on authenticity and love and not trying to manipulate people, control people, or take advantage of people. So They think they look victorious and successful in the world, and by worldly standards they might. But the people who have true abundance in the world are the people who are more willing to do balance from love. And they have true abundance. The Ten of Pentacles, the best of both worlds. These people kind of have very little of both because they're so tipped into themselves or the world. So there you go, Aquarius energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.